Hi everyone, my name is Mona Lisa. Welcome to my channel, Mona Lisa Reads, and today I'm going to be doing a tag. It is judging a book by its first paragraph, and I was tagged in this by my good friend Chaz over at Bookish Chas, and I know this is what we do for tags. The challenge was created by an Ali Rizdal, I hope I say that right, and revived by Just Book Girl TV. I have not checked out their channels. I know nothing about them except that one person started this tag and the other revived it. I will put their channels down below if you want to check them out. I will also include Chaz's channel and the specific video if I can get the link for his judging his books by their first paragraph. And I'm really excited about this, but first I want to say sorry for the absence again. I haven't done a video since November, and that video was mind-blowing. I enjoyed doing that video. It was the 50 books before I turned 50 video, and I told Chaz I was really disappointed the first day or so. It wasn't getting a lot of views. I thought it was a great video, a great idea. I know I've seen maybe a couple of other people, or at least on Instagram, talking about certain books they wanted, but anyway, so I was super excited, and it just wasn't going anywhere, and then all of a sudden it just like took off for a week or so, and that was super exciting. I got some new subscribers, so if you're a new subscriber here, sorry for the absence, but you'll learn life is lifey for me. I have a 2-year-old, and I have a chronic back issue, so whatever doesn't get done during the week, my husband and I try to get it done on the weekend, which is mostly him and me trying to do what I can. Anyway, and then just a 2-year-old. That's all I need to say for the most part. I really want to do these videos. We have a schedule, but just with life being lifey, I have a very hard time actually sitting down and doing these videos because I feel like other things in our lives need to be finished first. So that's what's happening with that. It's very frustrating for me because I love doing this. I love editing videos, which I know not everybody does. And I enjoy when I get conversations going down in the comments, and I would love to revive my Discord, but you know, it's gonna be, I have to be more consistent to get more involvement. So I'm working on it, but I make no promises anymore because I just don't know right now with life and how it's going and its craziness and whatever. So, but anyways, I'm terribly excited about this tag, judging a book by its first paragraph. So let's get started. For this particular tag, you choose between 5 to 10 books, read the first paragraph, and then decide out of all those books which one is your favorite. And Chaz, I don't know if other booktubers have done this, but what Chaz did was he read it and then picked his favorite book and added that to his May TBR, and then he tagged me, and I was like, great, this is a great way to do a video and kind of slide myself back into booktube world. And it also kills another bird. 50, so every book that I have every one. It's physical. I own all the books but one, and that's my brother's. He let me borrow it, and I need to work on my 50 books to read before I turn 50 challenge. I will let you know in another video, hopefully soon, how that's going, but I figured a great way to decide which book I want to read next on that particular challenge that I'm doing. So I am also going to add this book to my May TBR. If it doesn't get read in May because life is lifey, I will just make sure it's the next book I read in my challenge. So I picked 10. I'm crazy. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to try to do this quickly because I don't want this to be like an hour and a half long video. It won't be an hour and a half long video, trust me. But yeah, so okay, first book. It was a suggestion from my father. It was Uncle Tom's Cabin. The reason he picked it was he was currently reading it at the time. I don't know if he's still working on it, but I went ahead and got it. And I got a physical copy because I feel like this might have a lot of characters and I might want to annotate at least the characters. I don't think I'm going to full on annotate it, but at least somehow mark the characters. I have a couple of different ways I can do that. I can do it with tabs in here. I may do that. Like at the beginning, I can leave notes on my phone or the Fable app, I believe. We'll see. Not sponsored. So anyways, Uncle Tom's Cabin, Harriet Beecher Stowe. Let me find the first paragraph of this thing. No, not the introduction. You know, probably would have been good to have like markers in here to preface. No. Holy cow. Okay, so I started reading and then I couldn't talk. So let's start this again. Late in the afternoon of a chilly day in February, two gentlemen were sitting alone over their wine in a well-furnished dining parlor in the town of P. And then it has a line. Do you know what that means when they do the P or like Mrs. or something and then a line? Anyway, in Kentucky. There were no servants present, and the gentlemen, with chairs closely approaching, seemed to be discussing some subject with great earnestness. Interesting. I'm intrigued to know what they're... Oh, sorry, I gotta do this to put the book down. I'm interested to know what they're talking about. It's not a bad beginning, to be honest. I wasn't sure... I haven't read the first paragraph of any of these books, so I haven't... And I know what some of them are about, and some of them I don't. Or I have a vague idea, so... But... Yeah. Okay, one book I'm not really looking forward to reading, but I put it on the list because it's classic and you should read classics. And I'm a big classic reader, so I even read books that I've never heard anybody ever talk about. So I'm not against... I'm not interested in it, but it's 1984 by George Orwell. I don't know why I think the concepts in it seem a little scary to me, because some of it I think is going to end up being a little bit too real. So, but yeah, we're doing it. 1984. So let me see. Beginning of the book. First paragraph. Okay. It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. Winston Smith, his chin nuzzled into his breast in an effort to escape the vile wind, slipped quickly through the glass doors of Victory Mansions, though not quickly enough to prevent a swirl of gritty dust from entering along with him. I'm actually intrigued. Right now it's a tie between this and Uncle Tom's Cabin. Granted, it's only the same. But that's better than I expected, to be perfectly honest with you. I had to read Animal Farm in grade school. Hated that book. And I understand it's like a political type writing. But I'm going to just drop some books. I'm going to have to go get that one. Drop 2 books. Sorry. Anyway, Animal Farm. I hated that book. I didn't understand the concepts that George Orwell was trying to present at the time. And honestly, I remember very little about it. I remember a couple things. And just the idea of reading it again does not excite me. I have it, I believe. I think I bought it, or I plan on buying it. Maybe I'll just... If I don't have it, I'll move on. And we'll talk about Animal Farm later. Now, this book, I'm very interested in reading. Fina over at Fina Reads did a traveling book box idea thing, and a couple times, and I loved that concept. I would love to be involved in one of those one day. We'll see if she does another one, invites me, or if I do my own. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, this book was mentioned in it, and I was intrigued. Put it on my TBR. Found it at a used bookstore for like a couple bucks, so I picked it up. It's Nine Fox Gambit by Yoon Ha Lee. It's a sci-fi. I do know that. That's all I remember about it. I just remember really enjoying the concept of the book. Somebody wrote, underlined a couple times. That's not cool. Okay, so first paragraph in this. At Kell Academy, an instructor had explained to Sarah... I don't know how to say the name. I'm just going to say Karis, because it's C-H-E. And I know somebody named with C-H-R, and it's Karis. So Karis's class that the threshold winnower was a weapon. Oh my gosh, cannot read. Let's start over. At Kell Academy, an instructor had explained to Karis's class that the threshold winnower was a weapon of last resort, and not just for its notorious connotations. Said instructor had once witnessed a winnower in use. The detail that stuck in Karis's head wasn't the part where every door in the besieged city exhaled radiation that baked the inhabitants dead. It wasn't the weapon's governing equations, or even the instructor's left eye, damaged during the attack, from which the ghostlet glimmered. I'm actually not as intrigued yeah. I'm not as intrigued with this one as I thought I would be. I'm still very interested. But I actually like 1984 and Uncle Tom's Cat. I should stop telling you where I'm at with these. Okay. You'll learn at the end how I rate them. I will do bottom to highest. Yes. Okay, next one. A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court by Mark Twain. I've read recently that this kind of is a bit more funny than some of his later works, which become a bit more serious. I have honestly never read any Mark Twain before, so I have nothing to compare it to. But so we'll see. So the first paragraph is actually one sentence, so I'm actually going to read the first two. Camelot, Camelot, said I to myself. I don't seem to remember hearing of it before. Name of the asylum, likely. It was a soft, reposeful summer's landscape, as lovely as a dream, and as lonesome as Sunday. The air was full of the smell of flowers, and the buzzing of insects, and the twittering of birds, and there were no people, no wagons, there was no stir or life, nothing going on. The road was mainly a winding path with hoof prints in it, and now and then a faint trace of wheels on either side in the grass, wheels that apparently had a tire as broad as one's hand. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so if you saw my 50 before 50, you will know that I have not read The Hobbit or any of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, so I have this with the stupid... I need to take that off. But The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, I probably don't need to tell you what it's about, but it's about a hobbit, and he goes on travels. And so, first paragraph of The Hobbit, which most of you probably already know, but I've never read it. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. Not a nasty, dirty, wet hole, filled with the ends of worms and the oozy... Start again. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. Not a nasty, dirty, wet hole, filled with the ends of worms and an oozy smell, nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole, with nothing in it to sit down on or to eat. It was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort. I like it. I do. I liked that one. Okay. Next one. Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. For some reason, this is also on the Banned Books thing. I don't remember why. So that's part of why I bought it, because I won't read all Banned Books for different reasons, but, you know, some of them I will. Like 1984. Anyway. So I do know this is involving World War II. And it follows a bunch of people from what I remember, but one in particular. Okay. First paragraph. One sentence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 words. And the second paragraph is one sentence. So I'm going to read the first 3 paragraphs. Okay. The chapter is labeled The Texan. It says, it was love at first sight. The first time... Oh, gosh. I don't know how to say it. Yossarian, that's how you spell it. I'm going to call him Yo. Saw the chaplain, he fell madly in love with him. Yo was in the hospital with a pain in his liver that fell just short of being jaundice. The doctors were puzzled by the fact that it wasn't quite jaundice. If it became jaundice, they could treat it. If it didn't become jaundice and went away, they could discharge him. But this just being short of jaundice all the time confused them. Okay. Okay. Next book. East of Eden, John Steinbeck. This was a recommendation read from my brother. This is his favorite book ever, from what I remember. There may be one that's above it, but like this is a top 5, top 3 for him. So this was his suggestion for me to read. I had to read The Pearl in junior high, I believe it was, and I also hated that book because I just didn't get it. I've learned that classics for me as a middle grade / high, junior high schooler was not. I enjoy them much more now as an adult. Anyway, East of Eden. The Salinas Valley is in the is in Northern California. It is a long, narrow swell between two ranges of mountains, and the Salinas River winds and twists up the center until it falls, at last, into Monterey Bay. I'm going to read the second paragraph because it was short. Okay. I remember my childhood names for grasses and secret flowers. I remember where a toad may live and what time the birds awaken in the summer, and what trees and seasons smelled like how people looked and walked and smelled even. The memory of odors is very rich. I'm trying not to give away how I feel about any of these books. So, okay, this one, The Christie Affair. Stupid sticker that won't come off. I hate when they do this. I know I'm not the only person. This is the thing that gets me, and I know I'm rabbit trailing right now, but this is what I don't get, is how many booktubers and book talkers and bookstagrammers talk about this. Talk about how they hate stickers being put on the covers of books that they can't take off. Like, we're all fine. We'll take it off if we can take it off, but leaving it where you can't take it off is annoying. And publishers have to be hearing us complain about, yet they still do it. Okay, that's my rant, and it's over. Let's move on. Okay, The Christie Affair is written by Nina de Gramont, and I do know it's about Agatha Christie. I do know it's not, like, it is a fiction book. Okay. First paragraph for this. It's only one sentence. Again, okay, reading 2 paragraphs. A long time ago in another country, I nearly killed a woman. I almost feel like I don't need to read more on that. It's a particular feeling, the urge to murder. First comes rage, larger than any you've ever imagined. It takes over your body so completely it's like a divine force, grabbing hold of your will, your limbs, your psyche. It conveys a strength you never knew you possessed. Your hands, harmless until now, rises up to squeeze another person's life away. There's a joy to it. In retrospect, it's frightening, but I dare say in the moment it feels sweet. The way justice feels sweet. Okay, that's an opening. Okay, and now I have to go pick up my other 2 books that fell down so I can read those paragraphs. I'll be right back. Okay, so my trying to get up into this chair is a sight. Because I'm 4'9", to have the height of the chair to where it is to do this video, I kind of like have to jump-ish into the chair with a bad back, and the chair moves, and it's a sight to behold. No, I won't record it and show you, but just know it's something special, I'm sure. I won't even watch me do it, so. Okay, next book, Mark Twain, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. My husband picked Tom Sawyer. I'm like, I don't have Tom Sawyer, so can I do this? And he said yes. So, let me find. So, while I'm finding it, here we go. Deckled edges. Yes? No? Some people like them. Some people hate them. Some people are indifferent. I fall into the third category. The only reason I have, like, an affinity for them, like any feelings about this, is because I was given Little Women years and years ago when I was a little girl by a woman at church, and it has deckled edges. And so when I see deckled edges, I think of that book and I think about the person who gave it to me. But I don't hate, they're not my favorite, but I don't hate them either, so I'm indifferent. So comment below, let me know. Deckled edges, yes, no, indifferent. I like to know, because some people have some very strong feelings about deckled edges, so. Okay. You don't know about me. Without you have read a book by the name of The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, but that ain't no matter. The book was made by Mr. Mark Twain, and he told the truth, mainly. There was things which he stretched, but mainly he told the truth. That is nothing. I never seen anybody but lied. One time or another, without it, was Aunt Polly, or the widow, or maybe Mary. Aunt Polly, Tom's Aunt Polly she is, and Mary, and the widow Douglas, is all told about in that book, which is mostly a true book, with some stretchers, as I said before. Oh, it's got that southern talk. Okay. Okay, the last book on this list, and this is the one I borrowed from my brother. Once again, it's on my 50 before 50 challenge. Is The Phantom Tollbooth. And this is like the only non-adult-ish book. It's like it's middle grade. I don't even think I really have a YA. Maybe Nine Fox Gambit is YA. But everything else is very adult and heavy-ish, it feels like, almost. This was a pile, man. Okay. So, anyway. The Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Juster. Juster? Not sure. And I know that there was a movie made with this, and whenever I read a book, I'm going to try, whenever I read a book, I have some books I actually have to look at. I'm going to watch the movie. An appreciation, not chapter 1. Okay. I do remember the ending of the movie and parts of the movie, but I don't really remember much of it. It was one that freaked me out. I have a whole reason. Like, E.T. ruined me on movies, and I am very particular about, like, certain things, so I don't know why. Anyway, so I would like to find the old school Phantom Tollbooth movie and watch it after I finish reading it and see, if the book was better or not, which typically it is. Chapter 1, Milo. I'm going to do 2 paragraphs because this is like one sentence again. There once was a boy named Milo who didn't know what to do with himself, not just sometimes, but always. When he was in school, he longed to be out, and when he was out, he longed to be in. On the way, he thought about coming home, and coming home, he thought about going. Wherever he was, he wished he was somewhere else, and when he got there, he wondered why he bothered. Nothing really interested him, least of all the things that should have. Okay. I have some decisions to make. Another thing you can let me know in the comments below, based upon these first paragraphs of these books, which one would you pick to read? I'm honestly interested to know, because I'm sure my pick may not be everybody else's pick. So I actually have to stop the video for a minute. You won't know how long it takes me, but I'll time it. And decide, because there's some big contenders here. And I've got to figure it out. So, okay. I'll be back. Okay, so I've made my decisions. It only took me 3 minutes, and that's because I kind of couldn't decide between a group of them. I came up with the one that I wanted to read the most, and then I have them in 3 different piles. The one I chose, the ones that were like pretty much easy decisions, and the other ones I just couldn't decide between. So the ones that were easy decisions for me were... let me turn this around for you people. Huckleberry Finn, Catch-22, and Nine Fox Gambit. I'm still really interested in reading them, but just not as excited to read them. This one, the first paragraph, I think this will get better. It didn't catch me as much as I thought it would, so I'm actually a little disappointed in that. But that's okay. I think the book will be good. There wasn't anything in Catch-22 that really grabbed me compared to others. So, yeah, I'm interested in the story overall, but the opening paragraph was not anything exciting. And Huckleberry Finn, I have a feeling, but I hope it's not true, that the speech within this whole book is going to be what I read in the first paragraph. It's not that I can't read it and I won't be able to comprehend it. It's just that that's very hard to read, and maybe in a good way it causes me to slow down, but it's just so difficult to read, and that doesn't seem enjoyable. I will eventually read it, but gosh. And now I'm thinking, having read that paragraph, because it's talking about characters in Tom Sawyer, that I have to read Tom Sawyer first and then read this. So there's that. So that was actually that was the easiest decision. That was like an absolute not gonna happen right now, people. Not gonna happen. Okay, so the books that I had a hard time choosing, and so like they're all number 2, like the second book I would have chosen, because honestly, when I look at them, I can't really decide which one I would choose out of this group. I'd have to sit much longer with it, like a day or two, to figure out like, okay, I liked that better than that one slightly, and then do it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to make, since I already have my number one choice, which even now thinking about it, I'm kind of like, oh, but I really liked that one. And then I'm like, no, but that was really a good opening. And yeah, I'm still going back and forth, but I'm just going to stick with it because, yeah. Okay, so the ones I did not pick, but I will say, doing this, it made me excited to read these other ones that I did not choose as my number one. But these are all number two because I'm just going to decide between them. Okay, so East of Eden. I would actually, no, I would say, you know, this could be number 10, 9, 8, 7. So, because I think I liked others better than East of Eden. Then I would make, let me just pick real quick. Then I would pick... oh no, it would be a tie between A Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court and Uncle Tom's Cabin. And then oh no, number 2 would be between 1984 and The Hobbit, because both of them I liked the beginnings for different reasons. Yeah, I'm not quite sure because this has me, this one has me really intrigued despite my trepidation of reading it just because of content. And like make me go, oh, that's what's happening in the world now. It scares me. Whereas this one, I kind of have, you know, an idea. I don't know. And I've never read Tolkien and I really do want to get reading this and the rest of the series. So I don't know. It would depend on the day, I guess. So those were kind of tied for 2. So can you remember what other one I have left? Probably not. So The Christie Affair. I don't know, there's something about like the hands around the neck and murdering someone, and not that I want to, no. Definitely not. But if you don't know, all those are my Agatha Christie books. That's a whole other story in my Agatha Christie world. Anyway, yeah, I liked the description of like putting the hands around the person's throat and like having that phenomenal strength and putting their hands around the neck and like squeezing. It just was interesting to me. I liked it. But then again, now I'm thinking, I really liked 1984 and I really liked The Hobbit. Gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this just because I have to pick something. I'm interested in it. I'm also reading an Agatha Christie book next month, so it'll go well. Yeah, so I pick The Christie Affair by Nina Gromit. Anyway, that is the book that I pick. I'm excited to get read. And the fun thing was about this is it made me excited to read the other books on this list. So here's the thing. I'm so excited to read so many books. Oh, Phantom Tollbooth. That was a good one too. Okay. Nope. I'm sticking with The Christie Affair. That was actually more difficult than I thought it would be because some of them I found very, very interesting. It's like, oh, that tickled the itch. That has me very interested. I have so many books right now, not just these, but other books that I'm so interested in reading right now, and I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time. And there are some books that I don't mind doing audiobooks for, but others I just love the physical. And so I'm trying to do most of the 50 books before I turn 50 as physical reads. One I know automatically I'm going to have to do as an audiobook because I just don't have it, and I'm trying not to buy more books. One book on... Anyway, yeah. I'll have to give you an update on how that's going. I will do that. Anyway, Christie Affair, that's the book that I chose. I'm excited about it. Now I have 2 weeks to wait before May. I've got another book or two that I'm working on right now, so that's perfectly fine. Anyway, sorry for this rambling. It just got me excited about reading these books. You know, I don't know. Does that happen to you? Do you get super, like... Anyway. I'm also very excited to be doing a video again. It's been a very long time and I've really honestly missed it. So okay, in all seriousness, I am excited to read The Christie Affair. I have no idea when I'll get to these other books, but I'm super excited now to get to them now that I kind of have, an inkling. I've kind of scratched the surface. Others I'm a bit more trepidatious about. So that's probably not a good thing. And to know that now I have to add Tom Sawyer before reading Huckleberry Finn does not throw me at all. In the fact that I have so many other books I need to read for my 50 before 50 challenge. To add another book just kind of complicates the matter. But that's okay. And if you have read both Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, let me know. Do I need to read Tom Sawyer first? That's a very big deal. Would you have picked The Christie Affair? Let me know. If you would have picked a different one, let me know which one it would be and why. And Deckled Edges, the great debate continues. Yes, no, and different. Let me know in the comments below. And until later, I hope you read a great book, and I will hopefully see you soon. See y'all later. Bye-bye.